Okay. There's a lot of questions.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
There's a small button called leise gehen. Leave silently.
Welcome, guys, to Grill of Construction. Today we've got a couple of guest speakers. We're going to be discussing Construction Simulator between the fans. All of us here have a couple of questions to ask the publishers and the developers of the game, and we're both very excited and very honored to have them here. We're going to keep the questions respectful, nothing about Construction Simulator that they can't confirm or deny, and nothing too personal. All right, guys, so I'm going to start off with the first couple of people in here. And we're going to pass it on to whoever would like to ask a question. If you just want to ask a question, raise your hand. If you have a question, leave it in the Twitch or the YouTube comments, and I'll try to get that to them as soon as possible. So I started off with a line of questioning, which was, what was your dream job as a child? Like, what did you grow up thinking you wanted to do? Maybe something that you still want to do as an adult, but something that you've always wanted to do as a child. They were a little confused at first by the question, only because it comes off so weird and kind of personal, and I said that no personal questions. But I was really curious to see what they would say and what was their dream job.
Welcome and hello from Weltenbauer. My name is René. I'm the CEO and project lead on the construction simulator development team. Yeah, we are happy to see still some guys waiting patiently for the new construction simulator to be released. I'm honored that there are still some guys interested in the construction simulator franchise and the games we are making. We're looking forward to your questions.
Yeah, I'm Psycho alias Carsten. I'm working for Astragon since 2012, when nearly the same date when Construction Simulator 2012 was released. And I'm doing the community management for Construction Simulator as well as some other games of Astragon. And if you ask any questions in one of our official forums, it's most likely that you meet me there answering your questions. And so we are open today to your questions today, and I'm excited what you want to know.
What was your dream job as a child? And so, with the confusion, I actually just ended up saying what my dream job was first. Give them an example of what I was asking. You'll see plenty of that. I interrupt a lot. It's annoying. And I regret it. My dream job as a
Okay.
child was to be a construction operator, a heavy equipment operator. And I grew up
Okay.
seeing the machines working on the roads all the time and sometimes driving past the house. I found Construction Simulator 2014 for the mobile devices. I fell in love with it immediately. I played it all the time, and I immediately wanted to get involved with the community. So here I am.
That's a great story. I think mine is not that attractive. I think when I was a child, I was a young child. It was something about getting maybe a firefighter or policeman or something like this. Later on in school, I I I thought about getting into business, some kind of economy stuff where you can earn much money and things like that. But during these days and during these years, I always played video games in more or less every free minute I had, and I never expected, to be honest, to get the chance to start a career in games. And to be honest, when I started my job at Weltenbauer as an intern in 2004, some years ago, I would never expect that this career would lead me to the chance to produce video games like we do it today. It's more or less like several decisions or maybe fate that I landed in an area, in a business area where I could follow my dreams on doing video games, which was something I liked as a child and still like today. I play a lot, and also my children do the same. And yeah, so I'm very blessed to do what I liked, and it's not feeling like a job, even if the job is sometimes very hard. It's still something I do with much pleasure, and therefore I really enjoy it to make games and to play them both. Carsten, now it's your turn.
Oh, wow. My turn. Sit down. When I was a child, my first idea was to get an account from Nintendo appeared, and I got it was the first consoles as the time started, and an Atari VC 2600 and so on. And at some point, I switched from the accountant dream and thought about how about making games and wanted to study informatics. Uh, and in fact, I did that, but skipped it when I got the offer from Primer Games in 1996, I think it was, to write the official strategy guide. This was a hobby which I did before,
Really?
and so I got into Primer Games and wrote books for Might and Magic and so on, and Baldur's Gate, and role playing was my favorite stuff and adventures at this time. And yeah, was the step into the gaming industry a long time ago. And in between, I wrote Windows books and so on. And then I started at Astrogun and got insights into a new type of games called simulation games, which we are playing
Interesting.
today. Yeah. Mhm.
Sounds like you should have become maybe a game journalist or something like that. Would maybe
Yeah,
be
would
also a
have
good
been another
choice.
option, but
Yeah,
yeah. Now I'm here and managing communities and the press. Yeah.
and you're doing well.
Thanks.
Very good. Very good.
Hands are coming up. Okay.
Okay. Ooh, there's a lot of questions.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
There's a small button called Leise gehen. Leave silently.
So that's the first question. It's more Psycho Cal. Could you explain in a broad aspect what your role is with Astragon being a publishing company that and your essential like relationship with Weltenbauer and the others for developing the new game?
Yeah, like I said before, I'm the community manager and press manager at the same time. So if we have to announce something new, like the upcoming construction simulator game, I'm writing the press releases, I'm contacting press contacts, editors, and so on. This is one part, and the other part is that I'm your gate from the community to I'm the gate between Weltenbauer, the developer team, and the community. So I'm involved in many parts. Um, uh, if I get questions from the community and I think they are important and have to be sent to Weltenbauer, I will do this. Same for the press. If there are interview questions and so on, I'm managing all these things and also in the community section, I'm personally answering most of the questions, be it
Yeah,
on Facebook, here in Discord,
yeah,
or
yeah.
wherever. Yeah,
As Carsten is our first line of defense,
yeah.
um, in a
Sometimes it's
confronting
that.
confronting the community if it gets hard.
You guys know how you guys are on the forums, and I've seen it on the Discord, I've seen it on the Facebook page, I've seen it on the Steam forums, I've seen it everywhere there is a discussion about Construction Simulator. There always seems to be a couple of people who are absolute dissidents or just completely impatient with the process of the new game coming along. Some of them very cynical, some of them a little more optimistic, or some of them just kind of just throw out this blah like, they're not gonna make a new game. They don't care about us anymore. Yada yada yada. So Carson's job, of course, is to maintain that and make sure that people understand that yes, there's a new game coming. They are working on it. It just takes some time, and you'll hear news in time. he's had to say this since before the release of CS2. He's had to battle this. So imagine for almost 7 years now having to continually say, yes, there's a new game, but in time, news will come. So Renee is totally right, and if you understand what he's saying there, he's saying that Karsten is kind of the front line to defend against all of the people who are impatiently waiting for news about the
Well,
game.
actually, he's the one who knows best what the community wishes for, what kind of feature requests, and maybe also if there is an uprising and some problems rising.
He is the one that has to quell the uprisings. He's got to be the herald of good news. He's got to be the herald of bad news. He's got to be the harbinger of our construction dreams or our construction nightmares. So it's kind of a tough position to be in.
Mhm.
And so his opinion is very important to us. He's also an active player of our game, so if we have a new version, a new milestone which should be played, uh, we are very keen on his opinion on our current state and what the community would like. So he is the eye of the community on our product, and is very important to us. So
The second question on when looking at designing a new game and even looking back at an older one, are there a lot of added challenges when with like migrating into like new game engines?
to be honest, of course, a lot of time has passed, and the technology has got better during the years, and so the engines are also evolving and getting better, improving their features, adding new features and stuff like that. We are using Unity as a base, as a technology base, since several years now, and learned a lot with them and from them. Also with direct contact to the developers there, and yeah, we had a lot of improvements which we used right out of the box. So a lot of add-ons and features Unity added during the last years is very welcome to our development, because it gives us a chance to bring this game to the next level, to an well, let's say realistic, more realistic state and feel and look, and with up-to-date techniques on lighting and materials and rendering stuff, and also additions in several other technology areas like sound and stuff like that. So we can use a lot of the technologies we got from Unity as our toolkit, but not all of them. And I think what your question was, to how much of the CS15, let's say, DNA is still in a current development. There are not only concepts, but sometimes even a line of code which we are copying, not necessarily from the Construction Simulator 2015, but sometimes even from Construction Simulator 2 or 3, the mobile parts, uh, which is not going to somehow give you an idea of, oh no, they are using a code of the mobile versions. Maybe it looks like a mobile version. That's definitely not. It's more about concepts or logics which we use, for instance, for managing vehicles or managing locations and stuff like that, or even managing localization like language files and stuff like that. So there are still some code blocks which we are using since Construction Simulator 2015, but the current development got very complex and very huge during the last months and years of development, with a lot of additions which we had to integrate, even to use in order to use newer technologies for rendering, but also for several other things like multiplayer and um, Yeah, also additional platforms like consoles and stuff like that will definitely have their impact on our development. So there's a lot of coding going on, which is also completely new.
So with that, guys, that is the end of part 2 of our series on what is going on with Construction Simulator. How exciting. Check out part 3 coming up next. Subscribe, like, hit the bell for notifications. I don't even know why I say that.